Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We see Palantir Technologies that finally snaps its losing streak that we've seen from this pullback up in the 80s, sitting right now and closing right below $66. We also see Palantir that has recently announced its official earnings date for the next earnings call. We'll be talking about that in just a few moments and some of the implied volatility that could likely come with that earnings call. On top of that, you also have the broader market seeing some more positive, hints of inflation, which is really good because we want the Fed continuing to cut rates because the market is really hoping for that, which will be good for stock prices, even though the economy has been very resilient. In addition, we also see the current administration that comes out with a policy that NVIDIA especially did not like, that actually imposes some restrictions on AI data chips. That's what it looks like at the forefront. So we will be breaking down that article. Now, we're growing very fast on the road to 23,000 subscribers. Help me hit that goal. Subscribe, hit that like button. Of course, not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, pop it up on the screen right here. Palantir closing at 65.91. Like I said, actually having a green day today, which Palantir has been waiting for. The question is, where is the buy the dip? Where are we going to see the reversal for Palantir in terms of a good entry point for anybody waiting on the sidelines or that have gotten in at higher prices, looking to dollar cost average? Palantir, one of the biggest concerns, of course, is its valuation. We'll be talking about that in just a moment here. But Palantir has announced that it will be releasing its fourth quarter earnings and fiscal 2024 earnings on Monday, February 3rd, after the markets close. So after the bell on Monday, kickstarting the week, Palantir will be releasing its earnings. Earnings per share estimates right now are at 11 cents, correlated with the revenue of $776 million. We've seen 13 positive earnings per share revisions in the last 90 days and 0 in the bearish direction. What this is really meaning is that Palantir right now is being priced for perfection. So not necessarily a horrible thing, but what it means is that Palantir really needs to come in with a smash regarding its earnings because the bar is being set very high by Wall Street. In reaction, I think, to some of this news and what we're seeing in just of a return here, a little bit in the market, some more confidence coming in after we've seen a lot of red, S&P closing just slightly in the green, Palantir comes up just a few percentage points. Now, some of the analysts here are still explaining why Palantir stock may underperform in 2025, which could bring cheaper prices, like I said, for people that are looking for entry points. Now, Palantir stock from Jefferies, this analyst here on Jefferies, said that Palantir actually may face more downside in 2025, just basically talking about the astronomical highs that we saw Palantir climb in 2024. But last time they're saying that they've seen stocks with such high magnitudes like this or multiple expansions, talking about Palantir's valuation being incredibly high was during the last pandemic bubble when many of the high growth names, they saw multiples significantly expanded at the same time. They're saying, however, we're entering more of a normalized macro environment. And if we see any type of negative factors like the changing interest rates, we'll be talking about that here. And if the AI hype turns, I don't know. The AI boom is still very strong. I don't know if I completely agree with that personally, just due to the fact that every company literally out there is trying to get involved in AI. It is one of the most trendy names, or AI, just two letters, that I've seen in probably one of the most hyped names I've seen in recent times. But they also highlight insider selling. That's what we have seen. This doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, what is something that they know that the public doesn't know? Insiders sell for multiple different reasons. But there has been a lot of insider sellings over the past few months. And they kind of talk about that. Over the last 5 months here, we've seen Alex Karp. We've seen some of the top management positions that have sold a lot of shares. But like I said, they could be doing that for multiple different reasons. So with Palantir sitting at about 66 right now where it's sitting, I still think, especially with earnings that's going to be coming up here, there's a lot of controversy on earnings, especially with the stock-based compensation stuff that we've talked about. A lot of volatility will come here, which means Palantir could either have a nice reversal right now, or it could drop down to where people are talking about. People are talking about that Palantir could possibly get back in here to the 40s. Some investors are saying that they are waiting for Palantir to come down into the 40s right here. Will it get back to that? I don't know. This is the tricky part, trying to catch a falling knife. Where is that reversal point for Palantir? Some people saying that, hey, this is the last chance to get in at these lower prices compared to where it'll be in the next decade. So all doing your own risk assessment, dollar cost averaging, those are some of the biggest different types of strategies that are out there in the world of investing. Looking at the market here, the stock market mostly rises, like I said as before, that we're seeing some encouraging inflationary data despite some of the drag that we've seen. Now, the stock got a boost, most likely from this reason here, from a report showing that inflation at the U.S. wholesale level wasn't as high as last month as economists actually expected. This is really encouraging on top of the signal for a report coming Wednesday, tomorrow, which is going to show us more consumer price type of inflation, looking at gasoline pumps, groceries, and auto lots. These stubbornly high inflationary rates and a run of better than expected updates really have hit Wall Street in this rut. And the reason why is because the Fed has already kind of hinted at reducing the amount of interest rates that are going to come in 2024, and hinted that it's likely only going to cut rates at just 2 times in 2025, down from that earlier projection of 4. This is not in terms of agreements with the market. And that's why we're seeing prices that are coming down a little bit. And speculation is growing about whether the Fed may cut rates 0 times this year. If that actually were to come to fruition, if we're seeing inflation that is staying way too sticky, or inflation that is actually starting to hike in terms of the CPI report, and the Fed, the probability increase to 0 cuts this year for 2025, that's where we're going to see probably more of a pullback in the market. Considering that these treasury yields are continuing to rise, the yield in the 10-year treasury right now is at 4.78%. It was below 3.65% in September, so they are raising very well here in terms of the economy being very resilient and showing the signs that inflation is kind of sticking around. One of the big shockers in the market here is that NVIDIA stock, they say sinks. NVIDIA didn't really sink. That's more of just a clickbait word right there. NVIDIA is back down at about 131. What we see with NVIDIA is a lot of support here at about 130. We'll see what happens to tomorrow coming in the market, especially with that inflation report. But one of the major news things that has an impact here in terms of a political basis is that the White House actually had announced new export restrictions on AI processors. Now, industrial officials here, they criticize the last-minute regulations, they say here, by lame duck at this administration, because we have, of course, the new inauguration is going to be happening on the 20th, and they come out here with this AI processor export restriction. And in a blog post right here, NVIDIA actually called the new restrictions misguided by saying here that AI adoption based on the U.S. technology is fueling growth for industries at home and abroad, and that's due in part to the regulatory foundation that was laid by actually the previous administration that's re-entering. Now, the reason why they say here placing this restrictions on the AI processors and systems, they said was to safeguard national security, trying maybe not to have these different countries that are getting access to the technology from NVIDIA and from some of the top AI companies. I don't know, but the White House said in the statement here it restricts where AI processors can be sold and in what quantities. So don't really know where this is coming from. It seems like NVIDIA, saying that this isn't guided, does not know where this is coming from. And a lot of the market is probably wondering, what the heck is this in just the last few days in office, considering this is a 200-plus page regulatory morass drafted in secret without proper legislation review. The sweeping overreach, they said, will here would impose bureaucratic control over how America's leading semiconductors and computer systems. So what do you guys make of that? Like I said, very interesting to see. I don't know why that came out, especially with AI processors, restrictions on that, and with the inauguration happening here in just a few short days. Other than that, what's your opinion on Palantir sitting at here? Do you think we're going to see a reversal, or will Palantir continue to come down? Do you think it will go down into the 40s, or do you think the earnings report is going to be very well in terms of where we could see a reversal back up into the 70s? A lot of volatility, risk for downside potential, I think still high, my opinion, especially where the market's at right now and with the valuations across the board. So, of course, be careful and do your own due diligence out there in the crazy world of trading in the markets. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a great day.